Today at Booming Acres, we're going to talk about 6 mistakes that people make while growing mushrooms their first couple times.
One of the things you want to avoid while you're growing mushrooms to start is to make sure that you're not getting bad genetics from somebody offline. You want to try and avoid getting anything off of Instagram or Reddit right when you're starting, just because of the chance that it could be contaminated or not exactly be what you want. So you want to get your genetics from somebody with a reputable history or at least a replacement guarantee, so you know you have good product to start with.
Another thing to avoid while growing mushrooms is messing with your projects too much, checking them too early to see if they're growing anything, checking them too often to see if they're growing anything, just kind of messing with them too much. You got to let these things grow. If you don't, you risk messing them up and nothing growing. So leave them alone.
Another thing to avoid when growing mushrooms is not asking advice from too many people. Find a guide you like online and stick with that one guide. If you need more questions or answers, try to reach out to the author first. There's 100 different ways to grow mushrooms, and every way is the right way. Just finding the way that works for you is the most important.
Another thing to avoid is to not have too many projects going at once. As a beginner, you just want to do 1 or 2 bags. And once that goes well for you, you can start to get more under your belt and go from there.
So one thing to avoid while you're growing mushrooms is when you're in your environment and your recipes, not to do too many changes at once. That way you can figure out what you did wrong and make the corrections to get your desired results.
And another thing to avoid when growing mushrooms is having a little bit too much confidence. Sometimes you do need to ask questions, sometimes you don't have all the answers, so it's good to find someone to reach out to and maybe find a book or a guide online to make sure that you're able to find the answers to your questions. You don't want to just be making stuff up or doing things randomly to see what works or reinventing the wheel, so to speak. Most things have guides online for how to do them. Most people have tried various things, so it's a good idea to just go with what other folks have done or tried rather than making stuff up, especially whenever you're a new grower. If you don't know what you're doing, it's best to ask somebody for help.